What if the very person you're holding on to is the reason your peace is missing? Your purpose delayed and your spirit drained? Sometimes God doesn't rescue you by adding something new. He rescues you by removing what's no longer meant to stay. Let's uncover 7 unmistakable signs that God is trying to clear space in your life, not to hurt you, but to heal you. If this resonates already, hit that subscribe button so you never miss what's coming next, especially if you're serious about walking in purpose. Sign 1, your peace vanishes. Colossians 3:15 says, "Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts." But what happens when someone's presence feels like a storm in your soul? That's not just discomfort. That's divine disruption. Peace isn't passive. It's God's way of saying this is safe. If every time they enter your space, your sleep suffers, your spirit feels heavy, and your joy fades, and that's not chemistry, that's a caution. Think of peace like a compass. If it spins wildly around someone, something magnetic is interfering. Ask yourself, is this relationship helping me hear God clearly? Because unrest isn't just emotional, it's spiritual interference. Coming up, the subtle way compromise creeps in through relationships you thought were harmless. Sign 2, purpose starts slipping. Judges 16:19-20 shows us Samson didn't lose his strength overnight. He lost it slowly, distracted by Delilah until he didn't even realize God had left. That's how misaligned relationships work. They don't yank you out of purpose, they nudge you away from it. 1 missed prayer, 1 lowered standard, 1 delayed obedience, until one day you wake up bound. Some people are oxygen. They fuel your fire. Others are water and they drown it. 2 Corinthians 6:14 warns us not to be unequally yoked. If someone's walk pulls you away from God while you're trying to press toward Him, that's not partnership, that's sabotage. Question, who in your life is watering your purpose, and who's quietly choking it? Sign 3, jealousy starts showing. 1 Samuel 18:8-9. Saul couldn't handle David's victories. Instead of celebrating, he grew suspicious and bitter. Jealousy isn't about what you did wrong. It's about someone else's inability to handle what God is doing in you. If they can't clap when you win, they'll compete when you rise. Envy hides behind compliments. It shows up in subtle digs, changed subjects, and fake support. Proverbs 14:30 says, "Envy rots the bones." And Genesis 37 reminds, thus Joseph's brothers didn't hate him for his mistakes. They hated him for his favor. If someone's light dims when yours shines, God may be showing you it's time to let go. If this is speaking to you, tap subscribe now, because the next few signs might explain the tension you've been feeling for months. Sign 4, constant conflict. Amos 3:3 asks, "Can 2 walk together unless they agree?" Disagreements are normal, but when strife becomes the default, that's not a relationship. That's a battlefield. Genesis 13:8-9, Abraham told Lot, "Let there be no strife between us." Why? Because the promise couldn't flourish in chaos. If every conversation turns into a war, if you're always defending, explaining, or proving, that's not love. That's exhaustion. Proverbs 17:14 warns, "Drop the matter before a dispute breaks out." Godly relationships bring peace. Toxic ones bring pressure. Ask yourself, are you fighting for the relationship or just fighting in it? Sign 5, their words wound. Proverbs 18:21. The tongue has the power of life and death. Words aren't casual. They're carriers of destiny. If someone's words constantly tear you down, belittle your dreams, or drain your confidence, that's not correction, that's corrosion. Psalm 55:21, David said, "His words were smoother than butter, yet war was in his heart." Not every sweet word comes from a sweet spirit. Jesus spoke life into Peter in Matthew 16:18, even while Peter was flawed. But Job's wife in Job 2:9 said, "Curse God and die." One voice built, the other broke. Question, are the voices around you watering your purpose or poisoning it? Sign 6, they push you to compromise. 1 Corinthians 15:33, do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character. Compromise doesn't show up as rebellion. It shows up as convenience. 1 ignored boundary, 1 silenced conviction, 1 lowered standard. Like termites in a foundation, it looks stable until it collapses. Genesis 19, Lot's wife didn't run back to Sodom, but her heart never left. Matthew 5:29, Jesus said, "If your eye causes you to stumble, gouge it out." He wasn't promoting harm. He was promoting holiness. Ask yourself, are you bending your values to keep someone close? Sign 7, God creates separation you can't control. John 15:2, He cuts off every branch that bears no fruit. Sometimes God doesn't ask you to let go. He does it for you. The calls stop. The texts fade. The door closes. You didn't choose the separation, but heaven arranged it. Jonah loved the boat, but God sent a storm to throw him off. Acts 15:36-39. Paul and Barnabas split, and the gospel spread even further. What looked like division was actually multiplication. Hebrews 12:1, Lay aside every weight. Some weights aren't sins, they're expired assignments. Stop chasing what God is pruning. Stop mourning branches He's already cut. Final question, are you trusting the pruning or resisting it? Let's recap. If peace disappears, purpose fades, jealousy rises, strife dominates, words wound, compromise creeps in, or separation happens beyond your control, God may be clearing space for your next season. Letting go hurts. But Romans 8:28 reminds us all things work together for good. That includes loss, silence, and pruning. Declare it in the comments, Lord, I trust your pruning. Say it in faith, because what God removes cannot compare to what He's about to release. If this word stirred something in you, subscribe so you never miss what's next. Like, share, and spread the message. Someone else needs this reminder today. God bless you. Your pruning proves your promise.